Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cubes and Reviews, and this is an anime review or manga review or a preview or a thought or a theory. Okay, it's a little bit theory related, but it's kind of a rant and a response to another quote unquote manga or anime reviewer, and it's not something I do. If you actually watch a lot of my videos, it's not something I do. I don't really like the whole hate thing. And people be hating on people because they got more subscribers, but sometimes people are just retarded, and I don't mean that in a really bad way. I don't want to upset anyone that has any kind of mental, physical, or any type of illness, any retardation. I don't mean that, but the guy comes out with stuff that really I don't understand, and I can't understand why he does this. So I'm not even making logical sense at points here, purely because the guy I don't understand what he's doing. So the person I'm referring to is AnimeFanTalk. Don't get me wrong, I am a fan of him myself. Fan to the point where I subscribe and watch his videos, but sometimes he makes his videos and I just think, what the fuck are you smoking? And what are you doing? So there's points where you understand where a person can get nervous and say some shit. I get that. Absolutely get that. But he's made a video about awakenings, and a lot of the shit doesn't make sense to me. So let's get into it. I've made some notes. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but anyway. And I'm just going to run through it. He's made a top 10, and let's just kind of go through what he's done, and I'll give my thoughts on what he's done and what really grinds my gears, right? So number one, he talks about Bonclay having the ability to copy and potentially copy devil fruits. Lovely theory. I like that idea. To be fair, Bonclay is one of my favourites. Since he gave up himself, he sacrificed himself so that the crew could get away, Luffy and the rest of the people from Empel Down could get away. He's always been one of my favourites since that whole thing. So that, for me, getting to see him do something funky like that would be amazing. Now, then it gets a bit wishy-washy. Now, he talks about Smoker and he doesn't really fully explain what the hell he's on about. He just says something along the lines of smoke from the sky and clouds and smoke stuff. And I'm like, what are you on about? So to kind of give you an idea what I think an evolved form or an awakened form of Smoker's devil fruit could be about is the idea of smoke and variation. Because the idea of smoke, it's normally based on the back of a fire or some type of combustion, a chemical reaction, and that's one of the byproducts, right? So the variation in his smoke can be based on the chemicals that were burnt, or combustion or chemical reaction has taken place, right? So there's so many things you can count, like a type of carbon monoxide, some type of like cyanide gas, the mustard gas, whatever you want to refer to as dangerous. You could do so much different things, so many different things with that. There's so many opportunities there. And he's like, yeah, from the smoke from the sky. I'm like, shut up, man, smoke from the sky. What are you talking about? And it doesn't make no sense. Then he goes on to Whitebeard. And he goes, this is difficult, there's so many, I'm going to pick them on. But mentions nothing at all. He doesn't even mention a fucking theory. And I don't like swearing, but seriously, that is so stupid annoying. If you're not going to mention anything, don't fucking put it in your video, because it makes no fucking sense. Put it down as an honourable mention, please, honestly. And I'm going in because at the end of the day, it's fucking stupid. I'm a fan of yours, but you're being retarded here, right? Okay, that's one thing. Then he talks about Enel. And he talks about lightning going to thunder, pardon my pronunciation. How the fuck does that even happen? Thunder is sound. It comes before lightning comes. Or should I say after lightning comes? Sorry. It doesn't go from one to the other. You hear the sound after lightning is struck. They're two different things. They're quote unquote coming together in thunderstorms. I get that. But fuck's sake, lightning does not go to thunder. Okay. Then he talks about Bluno. He gets excited about Bluno, the whole door thing. I don't mind the idea of dimensions. But here's my attachment to that. We know that he can do door with solid objects. He can do it in the air. Would it not be funky if Blue Note could do that with water? I'm just saying. Devil Fruit ability users struggle with water anyway. Imagine him having the ability to do door and get through water like that. Would that not be funky as hell? That's just my little theory on that. So what you're getting here is me breaking down his stupid ideas. I think the ideas are okay because they can't come from other people, but he's not explaining them well because he's being fucking retarded. Okay, now he's got one about Absalom, and he talks about Absalom being invisible, and we haven't really seen what he can do with it, and the fact that we haven't seen him something to do with his field of vision, and it's like that means his awakening is going to be that Why would it be that? It could be anything else other than that. It could be that he can make whole islands disappear just because of his ability, and when people are trying to find an island, they can't because it's fucking disappeared. Can you imagine you try to look for Raftel and he's on Raftel and he's made the whole fucking thing disappeared? That would be funny as fuck, right? I'm just saying that's probably a better idea for Absalom than, oh yeah, I'm gonna make my field of vision turn invisible. Like, oh yeah, so you're invisible now. I'm gonna do that to my enemies. Why would you make your enemy invisible? It makes it better for him. That was one of his explanation and thoughts. It pisses me off. Then he talks about Gecko Moria, and he thinks the idea, or he's heard a theory, and he doesn't like it, about resurrection and making people immortal. And I'm thinking, he does that with zombies. Zombies are pretty much immortal unless you take salt and put it in their mouth. What the fuck are you talking about? They're immortal anyway. I don't get that. So I don't know if he meant the idea of he gets a real body, brings them back to life, and it's a situation where they're back to full capacity and they're not really borrowing a shadow or something like that. I'm not sure what he means, but it didn't make no sense. My thought on this, and another kind of twist to this idea, is what if, rather than taking people's shadows, he becomes somebody's shadow and he takes over someone's body that way? Just a thought. A different change of pace. Then he talks about Sabo, the idea of blue fire. The idea of blue fire is good because it's meant to be a stronger burning, a higher temperature flame, right? But why choose such a limited power? If that was going to be your ultimate ability, other than having basically a lot more mass which you can get from just controlling your ability, why not have something and take it to the next level? Concentrated fire, concentrated heat. I can only think of plasma. Why not have plasma as an awakened devil fruit? It's a lot better than the blue flames, let me tell you, because blue flames is one thing, fucking plasma is on another level. So plasma would be the thing for me. Okay, moving on. He talks about Monkey D. Luffy. That idea I like. I have no problems with that idea. Having more than one devil fruit ability is interesting, but we need to know how Blackbeard does it. Because Blackbeard's got two. We need to know about that. Now, speaking of Blackbeard, the idea of him having now Whitebeard's fruit, and I didn't really mention it earlier on in the video, I think if he's going to have Whitebeard's fruit, the Quake fruit, and it's to do with vibrations and earthquakes, I think the idea behind the Quake fruit was the idea that it could split the earth in half, and that's what the people were scared of. The awakened ability for Whitebeard, now Blackbeard, is the idea to break the world in half, to split it in half, rearranging it, possibly, maybe putting it back together in a different way, I don't know, but that's possibly what it was. It's just that Blackbeard got old and he didn't want to use it, and he didn't want to hurt his family, his children. So that's him. The idea about his black devil fruit as his, the darkness devil fruit is interesting in itself, but I'll talk about that on a different day. But anyway, that in itself, we need to find out how he does that first before even thinking about how this one works. What things he could potentially do. A good idea that came to mind was, you know how we've got Doflamingo turning things into rubber, right? What if the people that attack Luffy with physical attacks, basically they get turned into rubber? Like, so for example, you can turn them to molten rubber on the ground and they're just there and they can't reform. Something like that would be cool, right? Just make them completely rubber, lose their ability to do anything, and they're fine. Because you've got to bear in mind, when Luffy was young, he couldn't even control his devil fruit ability. So people that just get turned to rubber all of a sudden, different story. That would be cool. And then he talks about Aokiji. I don't know what is it with this guy in animals, because he talks about, Sabo potentially being some type of dragon and Aokiji being a type of dragon. And then he even goes and says, well, Aokiji doesn't have any animalistic moves. I'm like, motherfucker, he has a move called Pheasant Beak or Pheasant Beck. There's so many times where he used that. It's a pheasant. That was the idea behind the design, and him as a character was that he was meant to be a blue pheasant. Him being a bird, Kizaru being a monkey, Akainu being the dog. That was the idea behind it. So he is animalistic. Now, in regards to an improvement to his ability, check this out. Freezing, as we know, is anything below 0, right? We start freezing. So -1, 2, 3. There is the concept of frostbite, and is the concept of absolute 0. It's a theoretical idea that I think it's like -360 degrees. The idea that once you get to that temperature, any energy just stops with molecules. It just stops. There's no energy transfer or anything like that. Absolute Zero would be an amazing power for a Devil Fruit user that uses ice purely because he could stop anything. Literally anything. Probably even magma, sorry. So the idea that having that as an actual additional ability, as an awakened ability, would be crazy. On top of that, the fact that you can basically give any person you touch frostbite without even really freezing them is pretty amazing in itself. So that is what I think you should really be considering. Other options for you there. Now, Rant is been going on for such a long time, and I like this guy, I do, but the guy just, I don't know, he struggles to put sentences together. It's easily done when you're on the mic and you're live recording and you're doing one takes. I get that. I make mistakes too, all the fucking time, even in this video. I probably made loads, probably mispronounced everything, but I'm on the bloody mic. You're behind the camera, so to speak. You're just doing a voice recording. You can have as many goes as you bloody like. Why the hell do you still get it wrong? In any case, that is literally my rant, breakdown and response to a video, which the idea is cool. That's fine. If you want to do top 10s, top 5s and top bullshits, you're more than welcome to do that. But please, as a fan, as a subscriber, please make sense. Anyway, that's all for me today, guys. Hope you don't take this too much in a negative way. It had to be said. And I'll see you next time. Subscribe if you want to. See you next time. Peace.